We lie to ourselves in polished language. We say reason, progress, equality, maturity. We say people can be taught, systems can be fixed, culture can be corrected, and one day we will finally become better than the instincts that built us. But under every elegant sentence, there is still a pulse, still a flinch, still a hunger, still a fear, still something ancient moving faster than thought. We are not minds floating in light. We are bodies. We are inheritance. We are old mammals wearing modern clothes and calling it civilization. And maybe that's where so many conversations fail. Because we keep acting like instinct is shameful if it exists, and sacred if it agrees with us. Neither is true. It is simply there. In the woman whose body says no before her mouth can explain why. In the mother who feels something shift during pregnancy, during nursing, during touch, and realizes with a kind of terror that the body can reject what the heart does not. In the man who feels the surge of protection so fast it almost becomes control. In the wound of status, in the sting of humiliation, in the territorial ache of jealousy, in the primitive relief of being chosen, in the panic of not being enough. This is the part nobody likes to admit. Not because it isn't real, because it ruins the fantasy. The fantasy that we are clean. The fantasy that desire is neutral. The fantasy that fear is rational. The fantasy that attraction is ethical. The fantasy that our first reaction is our truth. It isn't. It's just our first reaction, and that matters. Because an instinct is not a commandment. Feeling possessive does not grant ownership. Feeling recoil does not prove danger. Feeling fear does not create justice. Feeling attraction does not create entitlement. Something ancient may rise in you. That does not mean it deserves a throne. And maybe real equality begins there, not in the denial of instinct, not in surrender to instinct, but in the discipline of seeing it clearly, naming it, saying, yes, this lives in me. Yes, this may shape what I feel. Yes, this may bend my first reflex. But no, it does not get to decide what is right. That is the meeting point, not halfway between man and woman, halfway between impulse and conscience. Where a woman can feel the nervous system flinch and still choose not to punish vulnerability. Where a man can feel possessiveness burn and still choose not to turn love into control. Where both can admit there are old animals in us, protective, territorial, fearful, hungry, tender, dangerous. And neither one gets to rule the house. Maybe that is adulthood, not purity, not sameness, not pretending we have transcended the body, just honesty, followed by responsibility. Because equality was never going to be born from pretending men and women are identical. It was always going to be born from something harder, from saying, we are different in some ways, wounded in some ways, driven by things older than language. But neither of us gets to use that as a cage for the other. That is the line. That is the work. That is the civilization. Not killing the animal, just teaching it to lie down without putting its teeth on someone else's throat.